Hi there, my name is Tom Lee. I'm the Chief Investment Officer of Fundstrat Capital and the lead portfolio manager for Fundstrat's US Large Cap Granny Shots ETF. This is our update for the week of July 29th. I first want to cover some particulars. As of July 28th, the price of Granny Shots was $23.67, net asset value of $23.65, and total assets of $2.024 billion. Yes, you heard it correctly. We crossed over $2 billion of assets for Granny Shots. So thank you for your support. We are really thrilled that you are supporting us. I want to cover the performance of Granny Shots over the past week. In the past week, Granny Shots gained 2.19% compared to a 1.34% gain for the S&P 500, or relative outperformance of 85 basis points. Year to date, Granny Shots is up 18.5%. That compares to the S&P 500 up 9.44% on a total return basis, or relative outperformance of 906 basis points. I thought it'd be helpful to give you a sense for Granny Shots' relative performance against major indices. Year to date, the NASDAQ 100 is up 11.61%, or beating the S&P by 2.17%, or 217 basis points. The MSCI Momentum is up 17.06% and beating the S&P by 762 basis points. And as you can see here, Granny Shots up 18.6% and beating the S&P by 915 basis points. I thought I'd give you a macro update talking about 2Q25 earnings season. This is the heaviest week of earnings, and as you can see here in red are the Granny Shots. Cadence reported after the close Monday, and before the open is PayPal. In light blue are the SMID Granny Shots. The heaviest day for earnings for both Granny Shots and SMID Granny Shots is Wednesday and then Thursday. And so far, 36% of the S&P 500 is reported, and they're beating by 6.2 percentage points. That's a nice surprise level. And if you factor in that earnings were expected to grow roughly 6% at the start of the earnings season and add in the 6% beats, it's adding up to about 12% earnings growth for Q2. That's pretty impressive. And again, as I'm emphasizing, we are in the heaviest week of S&P earnings. Next week is also big, but then after that, earnings season is over. Speaking of earnings, the S&P 500 has produced strong earnings growth since 2019. As you can see, the US has produced cumulative earnings growth that is outperforming every other country or region. India is the next closest. And even in the last 3 years, this is true. You can see cumulative earnings performance, the S&P outperformed, except for India in this case, a little closer. But that could explain why the S&P has been a major outperformer versus global stocks. Now, the trend looks like it broke during the tariff wars, but as you can see, that has since recovered, and I think it's resuming the outperformance. Now, let's look at the Granny Shot stocks specifically. If we look at the top 5 performers, it's GE Vernova, AMD, Caterpillar, Cadence, and Arista Networks. Now, GE Vernova reported last week, but still strong follow-through, great results. Cadence reported on Monday, good results, up 6%. And then the rest of these top 5 performers are reporting on August 5th. Now, on the bottom 5, leading it on the downside is MicroStrategy, then Netflix, Intuitive Surgical, Axon, and CrowdStrike. Now, Intuitive Surgical reported a slowdown. You know what? I guess we're having some issues here with Intuitive Surgical and FICO. MicroStrategy is going to report on the 31st. Okay, but keep in mind, MicroStrategy is just a play on Bitcoin. And as you can see, as long as global liquidity is improving, it's bullish for Bitcoin. And in terms of Granny Shot leadership this week, the best performing theme portfolio is energy and cybersecurity, but that's led by GE Vernova. The second best is those tied to PMI recovery, and that's again led by GE Vernova. So that's it in a nutshell. Thank you for listening, and I'll speak to you soon.